Why most people stay financially weak. Most people do not stay financially weak because they are stupid, lazy, cursed, unlucky, or morally inferior. Those explanations are comforting myths, but because they allow society to avoid confronting the real mechanisms of economic weakness. Financial weakness persists because human nervous systems are systematically trained into dependency, reactivity, short-term thinking, and identity confusion from early childhood onward. Weakness is conditioned. It is not accidental. A financially weak nervous system is one that cannot tolerate uncertainty, cannot regulate impulse, cannot delay gratification, cannot hold responsibility without collapse, and cannot sustain long-range discipline. These traits are not taught in most homes, schools, or cultures. Instead, people are trained to seek safety through conformity, validation through consumption, stimulation through distraction, and identity through external approval. Money becomes emotionally charged rather than strategically understood. From childhood, most humans are exposed to inconsistent authority, emotional volatility, scarcity, stress, and unpredictable environments. The nervous system learns to remain alert, defensive, and reactive. Most resources feel unstable early in life. The body does not learn patience, it learns urgency. It learns to grab, hide, avoid, or appease. These survival strategies may keep a child safe emotionally, but they sabotage adult wealth behavior later. A nervous system wired for survival cannot easily operate in long-term construction. This is why people often sabotage stability when it finally appears. Calm feels unfamiliar, consistency feels boring, predictability feels suspicious. The nervous system unconsciously seeks drama because chaos feels normal. Financial stability requires tolerance of quiet, repetition, and delayed reward. Many nervous systems cannot tolerate this without discomfort, so they unconsciously, disrupts it. Weakness also persists because people confuse motion with progress. They stay busy, stressed, and exhausted whilst building nothing durable. Activity provides dopamine and a sense of identity. Construction requires patience and humility. Many prefer the emotional intensity of struggle over the quiet responsibility of stewardship. Struggle feels meaningful, discipline feels invincible. Modern economies exploit this wiring. Advertising feeds insecurity and comparison. Social media amplifies performative success and manufactured lifestyles. Financial systems normalize debt, dependence, and subscription extraction. Education rarely teaches asset literacy, system thinking, or capital management. Instead, people are trained to become reliable labor units rather than sovereign builders. None of this requires conspiracy thinking. It is simply how large systems optimize for predictability and control. A financially weak mind also tends to personalize failure and externalize responsibility selectively. When things go wrong, the person feels shame, collapse internally, or blame fate, politics, family, or circumstances, even a deity. When things get well or things go right, they attribute it to luck rather than skill. This prevents learning loops. Growth requires honest feedback without emotional collapse. Weak nervous systems cannot metabolize feedback without identity threat. Another hidden factor is the inability to sit with discomfort. Building wealth requires sustained discomfort. Delayed gratification feels uncomfortable. Uncertainty feels uncomfortable. Saying no feels uncomfortable. Staying consistent feels uncomfortable. Many people structure their lives to avoid discomfort at all cost. They spend to self-soothe. They overconsume entertainment. They avoid difficult decisions. They postpone responsibility. Over time, this erodes competence and confidence. Financial weakness is also reinforced by cultural narratives that romanticize struggle or on the other hand, demonize wealth. Some cultures glorify suffering as a virtue. Others associate wealth with corruption, exploitation, or spiritual impurity. These narratives create unconscious conflict. A person may desire stability and freedom while simultaneously believing that wealth makes them immoral or disconnected from community. This internal contradiction creates self-sabotage patterns that feels mysterious but are psychologically predictable. Weakness persists because most people never learn to think in systems. They think in transactions, not structures. They focus on income rather than assets. They prioritize short-term relief rather than long-term leverage. They react to emergencies instead of building buffers. System thinking requires abstraction, patience, and delayed reward. Transaction thinking feeds emotional immediacy. A financially weak nervous system also struggles with boundaries. It overgives to gain approval. It overspends to soothe guilt. It avoids conflict to preserve comfort. It allows external pressures to dictate internal priorities. Without boundaries, resources leak constantly. Without wealth requires containment. Containment is not selfishness, it is stewardship. Many people also carry inherited scarcity trauma that does not belong to their personal story but lives inside their family's lineage. Patterns of poverty, displacement, exploitation, or instability imprint across generations through nervous systems conditioning, relational dynamics, and unconscious expectations. Even when material conditions improve, the body still behaves as if collapse is imminent. This creates hypervigilance, mistrust, and compulsive behaviors that undermine stability. Weakness is reinforced when people avoid ownership of their decision. They blame bosses, they blame government, they blame hierarchies, they blame partners, systems, or circumstances while continuing to repeat the same patterns. Sovereignty requires accepting responsibility for choices without self-attack. Blame freezes learning. Ownership creates adaptation. Many also confuse confidence with arrogance and humility with powerlessness. True confidence is calm competence. True humility is clarity about limitations without self-erasure. Financial weakness often emerges when people oscillate between grandiosity and collapse rather than stable self-trust. Another mechanism of weakness is the addiction to immediacy. Modern cultures train constant stimulation, notifications, entertainment, scrolling, novelty, emotional spikes. This fragments attention. Fragmented attention cannot build coherent systems. Wealth requires sustained focus over long periods of time. If attention cannot settle, nothing durable can emerge. People also misinterpret risk. They either avoid it entirely or they chase it recklessly. Avoidance prevents growth. Recklessness destroys capital. Risk intelligence requires emotional regulation and probabilistic thinking. Most nervous systems never receive this training. Financial weakness also thrives in environments where people outsource thinking to authority figures, like gurus, institutions, or ideological narratives. When individuals stop questioning assumptions, they inherit limitations automatically. Sovereignty requires independent cognition. Finally, Many people simply never encounter a model of mature wealth. They see either exploitation or fantasy success. They do not see disciplined stewardship, patient compounding, ethical power, or long-term responsibility modeled clearly. Without models, the nervous system has nothing to mirror. This is why boons of being exist, not to shame weakness, but to reveal its mechanics so it can be dismantled intelligently. Weakness is no moral failure. It is trained patterning. Patterns can be rewired through discipline, clarity, and repeated exposure to responsibility. In the next phase of this transaction, we will go deeper into how dependency is cultivated psychologically, how identity attachment blocks wealth, how emotional regulation directly correlates with financial capacity, how comfort addiction erodes sovereignty, and how to begin retraining internal strength practically.